Don't take long. Don't take much to confuse me, I should say. So tonight, obviously, so we did a poll earlier in the week, and as I've said, I think I said it on last week's training. My aim for the next good few weeks going forward is that once a week, as long as I've got a night, we will come on and we'll do this weekly training. So I wanted to start off with something that I could just pop out the bag and not have to prepare too much for, because I've just been out and just come back home. And then going forward, if we'll ask for topics each week, and we'll just keep rolling on with that training. And I just think it's that once a week sort of touching base that we can come on to once a week, just to kind of touch base with people. So hopefully it'll be a place that every week we gain more and more people onto the call, because you're all going to tell everybody afterwards that it was brilliant. So in the poll, it came out really top that people were looking for ideas on booking parties and contact lists. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And it is like any of these subjects, you could actually do a whole 2-hour training just on that subject. So I will end up probably talking fast and saying, and you could do blah, 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 blah. So just kind of take some notes, but always contact me afterwards, or contact your upline manager if you're like, she talked about that and I didn't have a Scooby-Doo what she was talking about. So first of all, I want to strip it right back to, why do I think doing and I'm going to call it a party, you're going to call it a pamper night, a girls' night in, a girly night, shopping evening, fun, friendly evening, whatever you want to call it. But for the purposes of training, we'll keep to the word party, because it just saves about 10 minutes every time I mention the word. So first of all, it's like, why do I think you should party? And the reasons I think you should party is, I think it's a way of getting out into brand new groups all the time, because you're going to be starting off with that one contact person that we're going to talk about in a minute. And then you're going to go to her house, meet 10 of her friends and family, potentially 10 people you've never met before in your life. That's while you're at that party, you're going to play a game, and you're going to say, right, there's a little prize tonight for everybody that gets themselves into my group. So get your phones out, girls. I want you all to look for Julie, my beauty club. Right, girls in the room, partying. Right, it's fastest finger first. Let's see who can get into my group the fastest. Everyone that goes into my group tonight, there's going to be a little drawer, and there'll be a little prize for everyone that gets into my group tonight. Ready, steady, go. Right, who's getting into my group? Right. Oh, yeah, I can see, yeah, one of you have come in. Oh, I've got another request now. Oh, I've got another request. Immediately at that party, you've added 10 more people to your group. Quite a lot of you are social sellers, and are doing a lot of selling over social media. And the question that comes up time and time again is, my group's really dull. There's not many in my group. I haven't got many people in the group, and blah, 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 blah. If you went out and did some parties, if you did 4 parties a month, then that's potentially 40 more people into your group. Not only are they just people in your group, but they're people that have had a connection with you. And I think in your group as well, sometimes when you're out there selling, you're selling to this audience that's never met you. Whereas when they're in your group, they met you at that party last week. They saw you tell a joke. They saw you demonstrate the chamomile butter. They engaged with you. So now, when you're selling products to these people, you're selling products to people that have actually got a relationship with you, and that makes a huge difference. Nearly all of my online doorstep selling comes from people that I've got a relationship with, that I know. So I would always say that's one good reason why you should party, just to help your group and to help your social media. Secondly, for me, it's 2 hours out of the house and coming back with an average of £50 in your pocket. And sometimes you've got to do a lot of online selling to get that £50 in your pocket, that £200 party. But you can go out, 2 hours, in, out, do the party, come home. If you do it right, you're going to get bookings from parties. That's another training session. And then you're on a bit of a roll. So that's another good reason why I think it's good to get out the house and do parties. Thirdly, I think it's just nice to get out the house. I think it's nice to leave whatever's happening at home, whether it's Teletubbies. In my life, Teletubbies was on for at least 12, 14 years. It was still on when I got home, but I had a chance to go out the house, put clean clothes on, act like a grown-up, not talk about Teletubbies or nappies or any other horrible stuff. Go out, be me. Feel like when you do a party, you come home with a real buzz. I have a real adrenaline thing. It's like I've done a one-man show for 2 hours. I am a comedian, apparently. I'm really funny. But you do get that, like you come home and you're like, hey, check me out. I'm bloody good at this. Whoa. And that really helps your self-esteem and your self-confidence as well. And I do still get a real buzz from doing a party, even though I'm a miserable cow at 7 o'clock when I have to go out the house. So they're all the reasons why I think you should do parties. When I started 20 years ago, we paid £130 for the kit, and I had to book 6 parties in before I was allowed to even order my kit. I had to give my upline 6 names, addresses, telephone numbers and dates of parties. And then she made random spot calls to over about half of those people to check I wasn't lying. Then she ordered my kit. Oh, here comes a cup of tea, hopefully. Yes. I often ask for a cup of tea and don't always arrive. Thank you. So that really sort of set us up, that you had to have those parties in place before you were even allowed to order the kit. Then we had 2 nights of training. I drove for, where did I drive? I drove for 40 minutes for my first evening of training. The next week I drove for about 20 minutes. Then I had to drive for another half an hour in another direction out to a village to watch a girl do a party. I did all of that before I started. So I'd invested 3 nights, 130 quid, and about, I don't know, a tank of petrol. And that was all before we got started. Then when we did the party, I used to have to go into the shop every Friday afternoon and give them a list of all the products I wanted. And then they would give me back all the products I ordered last week. Then I'd go home and then I'd sit on the floor and then I'd pack them all up. And then shortly after that, luckily we ordered over the telephone, but when we ordered over the telephone, we would ring up and order every single code number individually over the phone. And you'd get to the end and then you'd have a discrepancy and then you'd have to start again. So life's a lot easier now. So they're all the reasons why I think you should party and why I think actually it's so easy now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get over the whole fear of doing a party and that whole worry about doing a party. It is going into someone's house, someone that you're going to know to start with, and sharing the products. You can sit on the floor and share the products. You can stand up and present to the room, but you can basically sit on the sofa with them, with the products, and you're just sharing and touching and feeling the products. And there'll be another training coming very soon on the party presentation bit as well. So that's all it is. It's just you putting your big girl knickers on and going, right, I'm going to book a party and I'm going to go into that house and I'm just going to share those products. Let's face it, everybody can share, a cleanser. What does it smell like? What does it touch? Everyone can use a hand cream. Everyone can start with a little hand massage. That's all you're doing, is you're just talking about the products. You don't have to have great product knowledge. It's very well known, especially in the manager team, that my product knowledge is a little hazy. It doesn't matter. I've done 20 years. I'm a regional manager. I do not know the ins and outs of all the products. It just doesn't interest me. And I can't retain that knowledge. Actually, my knowledge isn't too bad, I realise, but I still feel it's rubbish. But actually, it doesn't matter. It's more just about having enthusiasm about the product. I didn't use a body scrub for nearly 2 years. I had it in my kit, didn't use it. When I used it, it was like a revelation. Oh my God, that body scrub's really good. So of course, because I knew then it was how it felt, I could tell other people. But for 2 years, it sat in my kit and I didn't do nothing with it. So try the products. It's always a really good thing to do. I like to be honest. I feel that it helps sometimes. So you're going to need to start with a contact list. So you are all going to need, and what I'll do after this, because it won't be too late, I'll sit and type this out for you as well. But you're going to need to start with a contact list. So you're going to need to start with, you have to start with your family. All right. And nowadays, sometimes you've got more than 2 sides of a family. Sometimes you've got 3 sides. Sometimes you've got 4 sides. But I'm just going to start with, let's go down your mum's side of the family. So you're going to start at the top. So start with granny, mum, aunties, cousins. And start to think down. So you're going to get yourself a piece of paper and a pen after this call, and you're going to think down. Right, granny. Who's granny? What's granny? Mum, aunties, cousins, sisters. Think about brothers that might have wives, partners, or girlfriends. So hopefully out of that list, you might have a couple of people. You might have cousins that you haven't seen for a little while, but actually, you know who they are, you know where they live. You're just not close as a family, but that's fine. You don't have to be like really close to them. And then you're going to go flip over to, if you've got dad, you're going to flip over, or a partner. So if you can do your mum, do your dad, you could do, and then you're going to do his side of the family. So you're going to do his mum, his dad, if you've got a partner. Some of you have got ex-partners. Some of you are still on good name terms with ex-partners and families. So you're going to sit there and you're literally going to go through your whole family and pull it out. Exactly who do you know in your family? And you're going to write all these people down. These people at this stage may say yes or no, but at the moment you're just making a list. Then you're going to start to look at your life. Okay, so depending on how old you all are, you're going to start with, first of all, with your current job. If you're working, who do I work alongside? So there might be that actually you work alongside 2 or 3 girls or ladies, but actually there's a lady down on reception. You say morning to her every day, but you don't particularly, she's not your friend, but you know who she is. So she's a person. There might be somebody over there on the desk that she's not your mate, but she is a female and she could buy products. So you're going to write her down. It's literally writing down everybody you know. So first of all, as I say, tackle your working life and think about all the people in your working life. Then if you've got the partner, think about his working life. Now, quite a lot of blokes work with loads of other blokes. And I often get that, oh yeah, well, he just works with a load of blokes. They're all scaffolders or builders or whatever. Right. Often blokes have a couple of mates that they work with. And those mates might have wives, partners and girlfriends. So start to write a list of your partner's name. He's got a mate called Bob. Bob's got a wife called Sally. You've met Sally a couple of odd times out for drinks, but you don't really know her. But you know that she is a female and she does exist. So you're going to write her name down. Okay. Then start thinking about the rest of your life. So if you've got children, then you can think about all the things that you might have to sit and do with them. Do you sit at dancing each week? Do you take them to Cubs, Scouts, Brownies, Guides? Do you go swimming and have to sit through that tedious experience every week? What other things do your kids do? Are they at preschool, play school, toddler group? Do you stand at the school gates every day with 2 or 3 mums? You might have your mate mums, and then you might have some other mums that you're on more nodding terms with. If you know their names at the moment, you're writing them down on a list. Okay. If you've had previous jobs, go back to your previous job and the job before that. Then you might be into college. Who are you still in contact with from college? Who are you still in contact with from school? And you can do the same with your partner as well. Has he got other connections in his life work-wise? You're just trying to literally pull out your life. And it's really surprising when you sit and think about who you know, just how many people we all do know. And I do sound like an absolute really old bag. But when we started, we had no social media at all, no Facebook, no internet, no mobile phones. Everything was done just by word of mouth and by talking to people. So I do think now you can contact a lot more people through Facebook, because your college friends, you might still have them in your Facebook group page, but you know, you haven't made contact with them. So you might be making contact with them after tonight. So you're just thinking about this list. Then you're going to think about other connections you have. What about your neighbours? Sometimes you get on with neighbours, sometimes you don't. There might be a lady in the garage where you fill up for petrol every Friday, and every Friday you see the same lady. You don't actually know her, but you're kind of on nodding terms, aren't you? Those sort of people that you kind of smile at each other because, yeah, it's me again. You know, I don't know you, but I kind of do. And there's quite a lot of those sort of people in your life as well. You might go, if you've got a little baby, you might go to baby clinic and weigh your baby and stuff. I'm sure people still do that. So you might actually find that you're normally in the queue with the same person. And you're not friends, but you are kind of nodding. At this time of year, lots of us are at Slimming World, or other slimming companies are available. So again, you know, if you're like me, I'm on really good name terms with my Slimming World lady, because I've been going there for about 12 years and I still look the same. So you know, actually I could ask Carla for a party, because actually I know her really well. But what about all those other people at Slimming World? Again, the same sort of ladies that you do see each week. Okay, you're just, you know, you might now be thinking, oh yeah, there's her and her. So just start now. After this call, you're going to be making a list, and hopefully by now, just by sitting on this part of the call, you are starting to think, yeah, I see, yeah, there is her, yeah, there is, yeah. And actually, you know, your grandma might be in some warden controlled home or something like that, some kind of old people home. And again, it might be, well, actually, you know, they've got a little place there where all the residents gather in an afternoon. Do I have people come in? Could I do a body shop people party for the residents in the warden controlled? You know, your brain now can start to think of all these different things. And so from this list, what you're now going to have to do is contact some people. All right. So the very best way to do it is to pick up the phone still. Because when you pick up the phone, your voice is going to sound excited. Actually, it's probably going to sound really scared. But that's fine. Your voice, you're going to be excited, because what you're going to be saying to people is, you know, I really want to change my body shop journey this year. So some of you have just started, just looking at the people we've got on. Some of you have just started, so you're right at the start of your journey. So you can easily say, look, I've started with the body shop at home and I really want to make a success of it this year. I have to book 4 people into my diary for the next 4 weeks. You don't have to do anything with the body shop. But if you want the best start, we're now going to get this all rolling, you'll be saying to people, I've got to get 4 people booked into the next 4 weeks. So sister, I thought of you first. I can't think of anybody better to help me out. So sister, can you help me out? All you've got to do is invite some of your family and friends round. I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to bring all the products. We're going to have a really nice girls' night in. We're going to get to play. We're going to do hand scrubs. And as a thank you for me coming, you're going to get at least £25 of free products. Okay, and then we could talk about host rewards. That's all your sister's got to do. And then your sister, hopefully, because she does love you dearly, will say, oh, go on then, you've twisted my arm. Brilliant, sister. Okay, so actually, right, today is Tuesday the 14th. Right, well, I've got next Monday night free. What night of the best is best for you and your friend's sister? Well, a Tuesday night would be better. Okay, right. Well, I can do next Tuesday night, the 21st. How about that? And then let your sister think about that date before she says, oh, no, I can't do the 21st. And then go, well, I can do the 28th. Okay. Now, if you're doing this over the phone, your voice is just going to sound just bubblier, more excited. You might be groveling because it's your sister. You might be pleading because it's your sister. But it comes across so much better than typing a message on Facebook Messenger. Because typing a message on Facebook Messenger, I don't know about you, I get hundreds and hundreds of messages, and it takes me ages to get through them all sometimes, and I just scroll past and I'm like, yeah, she wants me to book a party, lovely, yeah, too busy to think about that right now, the kids are crying, got to do that. Oh, and then she never goes back to that message. So the very best thing you can do is to pick up the phone, because, as I say, your voice will show the emotion, or, you know, will feel, you know, you get what I mean, don't you? You're a bit, all right, you'll get a lot more by phoning people. So if you're seeing somebody face to face, I would do exactly the same thing, but really hold that nerve when you go, the 21st, and start nodding. If you see her face to face, nod. 21st, because she will start nodding. Yeah, she's now starting to process it. And then when she says not the 21st, just go immediately to the next Tuesday. Don't rattle off 4 in advance, because it will take you right to the end of the month, and you want parties really close. So if you can't do the 21st, I can do the 28th. Shall I pencil you in for the 28th? I don't possess, well, actually, this is a pencil. I normally say I don't possess pencils, but, you know, how about I pencil you in for the 28th, eh? Right, let me just say. So obviously it's your sister, you would know her name and her address probably, and her telephone number, but get it written in the diary. Right, sister, so we've got that booked in for the 28th, okay? So the next thing we need to do is sort her out a host pack and get her sorted out. But your first one's done, okay? Your challenge is to book 4 in, and your first one is done. I don't know who's battling, someone's bouncing around the walls by the sounds of it. When you're picking your first person, pick a person that you think will say yes, because it's going to boost your confidence. It's going to make you leave that on sky high. But sometimes that person that you think is your best bet says no to you. And you can go from here to there in about 10 nanoseconds. Your confidence goes from 150 to -20. Ooh. And then you've got 2 choices then to go, yeah, see, this is a load of rubbish, isn't it? See, it's just rubbish. Or you can go, right, well, blow you, sister. I'm going to find my next person. Go back to your list. Right, I'm going to try a friend now, because my family are obviously rubbish. Right, I'm going to pick a friend. Sometimes in this job, you need a few things, really. We talk about being persistent and consistent, and there's a lot of that. You need to have some big girl knickers and put them on, and you also need to have a bit of resilience when you know, when things go wrong. Have a little bit of resilience when, if someone says no, dust yourself down and go and find someone else, because otherwise, if you're going to fall off at the first hurdle, you know, that's rubbish. My mum never ever had a party for me, and to this day, 20 years on, has never ever bought a product from me. My best friend never booked a party. You know, and those sort of things, if I hadn't have persevered, then obviously I wouldn't still be here. Out of my first 6, I had a lady I went to the toddler group with, didn't know her particularly well. I just and then asked her. And that was, you know, that was the first booking. It was the first party I did. It was £68 in sales. And the girl that started at the same time as me did over 200, and I was a bit gutted that I only did 58, but I got a booking for the following week for a brand new person I'd never met, and actually probably I had the better night. One of my friends booked me, and she invited everybody she knew, so there was 22 people in the room, and we couldn't move. It was noisy, loud. I sent my husband to work with a mission to book me some parties. He came home with 2 phone numbers. One was the company secretary, who I'd never ever met, and one was the managing director's wife, who I'd never ever met. And I was very, very scared to go to the thatched house with the swimming pool and the tennis court. And then another friend booked. She invited all her neighbours in, and she lived in a very kind of quiet cul-de-sac, and it was the quietest party I've ever done, and they were as boring as anything. And I thought it was me, but then I realised actually it's not me, it was just them. They were just very dull. I did 4 parties in my first week when I started, and I sold £630. So I'd paid off my kit, and I was in credit, and that was like, I was like, right, I'm on my way now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop. Let's stop the recording first. Let's make sure I get the right button.